Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Brianna Lentz, and today we are going to be upcycling this doll bed that I thrifted at my local Goodwill for $1.99. This had these terrible markings on them. My daughter did not do this. I bought it this way, but for $1.99, I thought I can fix this up. So I think that this turned out really well. I want to walk through with you how I made this from something that probably somebody would have typically thrown away to something that I think is really beautiful. So the concept of this is really simple. We're going to spray paint it, and we are going to give that ugly blue pillow a new life. The first thing that I did was I thoroughly cleaned the plastic surface. I didn't like sandpaper it. I didn't try to primer it in any way. I just really thoroughly cleaned it with these disinfecting wipes. And then after it was thoroughly cleaned, I used this beautiful yellow color, this Rust-Oleum satin spray paint. It's supposed to be like a primer and paint all in one. My daughter's favorite color is yellow, so there was no question as to what color we would be using today. She knew she wanted yellow. The only question at this point was what was I going to use as a fabric to cover the pillow. The cover, which I actually sewed as a pillow. But I just simply went out and I took this to my yard, and I had this really cool box that was like perfect from Aldi. And so if you have like a Costco or a Sam's Club or Aldi where you shop and you don't have like any, flat cardboard, and you get one of these kinds of trays, these are perfect. And this actually was a project that I had that I wanted to do for months. And I had this spray paint for months. Like I'm not happy to admit how long this project was supposed to be completed. Like this was months ago. And then today I was like, oh, today is the day. Because every time I wanted to do it, it was too windy. And theoretically, it was still too windy to do this project outside, but I did it anyway. So this spray paint is something that I was able to purchase at Walmart. It was, I think, maybe like $5. And it did the job. It really did great. As you're seeing right now, this is like my first coat of everything. And it really is a primer and paint all in one. I highly recommend this type of spray paint because I really went over this a lot. I did like the majority of the base about 2 times, and then I went in just to make sure like I hit all those little crevices. But that black marker, I did my first pass with the spray paint, and I thought, oh my gosh, like should I have primered this before going in with the yellow? Like I just went confidently in there like this is going to work. Like I'm just going to believe what the packaging says. And you know what? About 4 coats in, it did work. I probably could have done 3, but I did 4. So if you are new to spray paint, like I think that the key to a clean spray painted object is don't get too close. Like at one point I got too close and it will create runs, and like it'll create like it'll look like a rain droplet coming down because you are too close to it. So just spray paint from afar, trust the process, and let your item dry thoroughly in between. So yesterday in southeastern Oklahoma, it was about 70 degrees, and I was using the sun to cure it, and I was able to cure in about 20 minutes to where I confidently felt like I could go back and go through and do another pass. Obviously, try to do this when it's not windy. Like the windy conditions were not ideal, but again, I just went in there confidently. There was pollen in the air, so I had some dandelion dander get on my object, but for the most part, like you can't tell any imperfections. Like as I was going through it, I thought, oh no, like stuff's getting in my spray paint. But really, like this stuff dried and cured so quickly that by the time any debris got on my doll bed, it was fine. So just trust the process, and then if you have like the dark markings, just go over it 3 to 4 times, and this spray paint is amazing. Now that the spray painted object is complete, like I'm happy with how it turned out. In the final cut, like you see, I did about 2 more passes, like I said, over the black, and all the black markers completely hidden. So the next thing that I did the next morning was I went ahead and I decided I need to tackle the pillow. And I really didn't know how I was going to do this because the pillow is so thin. It was like a really thin, obviously it's like a thin mattress for the bed. And so I decided on the fabric. My daughter and I decided on the fabric, and I knew that it would have like the blue undertone peeking through because it was a light color, but I actually didn't dislike that. I liked it. And I just decided to sew this as like a pillow sleeve. And so I roughly cut out how much fabric I needed, and fortunately, like the size of it was perfect for me to use the width of the fabric. And then from there, I went ahead and I tried my best to iron out the wrinkles, and then I basically gauged like 1/2 inch around, and I decided to cut it 1/2 inch around, and then I was going to turn right sides together and then sew it with about a 1/4 to 1/2 inch around, leaving the open side at the very bottom open. And then I would take this to my sewing machine, like I said, sew this with a 1/4 to 1/2 inch seam allowance because I really wanted a super snug fit. And then I turned everything right side out, and then I stuffed the pillow like a sausage, and then I closed the seams, and I just basically, like, I used my iron and I used my own seams, and then I took this back to the machine, and then I did a really close stitch, and I snipped my threads, and I was finished. Like, this was so much easier than I imagined it being. So all in all, this was an incredibly simple project. I am really proud of the fact that I took something that was probably going to be sent to the landfill, and I was able to upcycle it and give it new life. My daughter loves it. She is so happy that she was able to customize this object for herself. She loves sewing, so she's giving her dolly like a little hand-sewn pillow. And then for the blanket, I would love to actually make like a coordinating blanket to go with this, but my daughter loves this paw print hanky that we got from Hobby Lobby, and so that's perfectly fine with me. This is for her. She can decorate it however she wants to, and she is so thrilled with it. I'm glad that she gets to use something that is so pretty, and yeah, I think it turned out great. I think that if you see something at your local thrift store or, you know, anywhere that's just waiting to be given a new life, I think that you should give it a try, because really, like, the only thing that this cost me was the $5 and the spray paint and my time, and this really did not take much time at all. So you can definitely do this. Go ahead, and if you've never spray painted before, it's not scary. You can do it. If you haven't already, go ahead and please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that way you're notified every time I hit a video. And I will see you guys in my next project and in my next video. Bye.